ET Now Hangouts with me, Ankita Saxena. Well, I'm back with yet another exciting episode of meaningful conversations, latest trends and what's hot in the market. Well, my first guest is a young influencer who breaks down complex financial concepts into bite-sized, entertaining nuggets through Instagram. Now, she has over 1.8 million followers across social media and also has a dynamic weekly newsletter called The Crore Club that revolutionizes finance by turning complex topics into engaging conversations. Well, I'm in conversation with Anushka Rathod. Anushka, welcome to ET Now Hangouts. So good to have you on the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So Anushka, I want to begin by asking you, you're an independent girl, you're a young girl, independent girl. You were living separately alone in Bangalore, then Mumbai, and then you shifted. But I want to start by asking you that, a girl who's young, who's living alone, is ambitious, she's independent, financially independent, working. How can she start her financial journey? Now, you would say that finances are the same for men and women. I do believe it's different because, for a girl, the expenses are slightly more because we need to buy our clothes, cosmetics, and so on, bags, and those are more expensive, right? So our expenses are slightly more than that of a guy. So how should a girl get started with her financial journey? Somebody who's in her 20s, living alone, and is independent.
Like you rightly mentioned, we do have expenses slightly on the higher end than what a guy would have, and that's our grooming expenses, we have our menstrual expenses, we even have expenses related to safety, like we can't live anywhere.
Absolutely.
We need like vibrant communities, probably a guarded community, so all those expenses add up. And if you actually look at it, people will be surprised to know that just our makeup, which we have to probably buy quarterly, costs like 7,000-8,000.
Absolutely.
And we need to keep reusing them, so we keep buying them again and again. They are like soaps and shower gels for us. So these expenses do add up, and that's why we women, we have to be more careful about saving, and we have to be more mindful, because everything, you go to Zara once, you get one dress of 4,000, 5,000, it's just absurd. So you have to, so what I do basically is I have my monthly income set. I know how much I'm going to earn. So from that, I keep say 10% or 20% aside, and from the amount that is remaining, I spend only from that. Now for me, the percentage is slightly higher. I save around 40-45%, and from the amount that is left, I only spend from that. So what women should do is, because we don't have a lot of control and there is a lot of impulse buying that is happening, just figure out according to your expenses, just figure out like a percentage. I'm going to save 15%, 10%, 20%, if you can save higher, 60%. Just keep it in a separate bank account, and from the amount that you have in the other bank account, you spend only that and make all the decisions according to the money that is there in that bank account. That way you are saving consistently, and at the same time you're living your life without having that constant pressure of budgeting on your head.
Right. So, a very interesting point. I mean, that brings me to my next question about the percentage of save and spend. So say somebody who's making, say, I would say 20,000 bucks, because in your 20s, that's how you get started. Say somebody with an income of 20,000, a girl with an income of 20,000, how much should be the percentage of, ideally, the percentage of save and spend? Because, I mean, of course, the money needs are different for different people, but let's just take a base case scenario.
Again, like you said, 20,000, if you just talk about Mumbai, I was just talking to a friend the other day. She stays in BKC, and her one room rent, like not even the entire room, just like half of a room rent is 18,000 rupees. And that person's also on a salary of 27,000 rupees. So she is barely making ends meet. She's actually, some months she even has to call money from home. So in that scenario, it gets a little difficult for you to save. But I would say, again, this is a very, very individual question. You have to analyze your expenses. You have to see where you can cut down. You might have to make some lifestyle sacrifices also. You might have to, cut down on one or two, say, weekends, or you might have to budget more on your clothes and other expenses. But fix an amount for yourself, and like I mentioned earlier, just set it around in another account. That account, start an SIP or start an RD, wherever you want to invest, and just forget it. You have to be very stringent about whenever you get your money, just fix an amount in your mind and put it in the other account and forget it. Spend, or try to rationalize your spends within that amount, and it is possible if you just put a little bit more effort.
Which also brings me to the next question. What should be the asset class? You said you can start an SIP or you can put it in the fixed deposit, but somebody who's that young, somebody who's in their 20s, what should be the preferred asset classes? Ideally, shouldn't you be looking more towards the markets and probably diversify your portfolio like that?
Definitely. So see, again, depends on what goals that individual has. If they have shorter term goals, they would probably want to stick to a asset class which gives them a fixed return and does not have a lot of risk. But if you don't need money in the short or medium term and you're just saving, just for the purpose of saving and building your wealth corpus, then definitely you should look at the markets, look at other asset classes also, which might give you a higher return. So, but again, like, what happens with markets and even other asset classes which give higher returns, they are rather complex in their analysis. Like, people need to figure out which mutual fund or which stock, or if gold, then how much in gold, how much in stock. So that becomes rather difficult for a person to make a decision. So it's better if you start with like simpler instruments. If you have a 15-year, you start with a provident fund. If you are investing, say, for the shorter term, you need your money in 2 years, you start an RD for 2 years. So whatever is the simplest that will get you started, go start from that. And then as you gradually earn more, you have a better clarity about your financial goals, you can start exploring more complex instruments as well.
All right. Also, in a day and age where, there's so many temptations outside, the kind of, you want to go out every weekend, you want to buy new clothes, look your best, and social media is not really helping with, that feeling of inadequacy and the feeling of, leveling up. How do you maintain financial discipline?
When it comes to social media, you should realize that everything there, most of the things there are a lie.
Yeah.
You have to be more conscious about where you're spending, and you have to be firm with yourself and with your spending, that you're not going to give in to these lures that social media creates. Like, just right when I was coming to the studio in my cab, I was just scrolling through reels, and I saw 3 ads. One was for a toothbrush, one was for a candy bar, and all of these were, D2C brands trying to sell us. Now, I don't need a 1,000 rupees toothbrush, but the ad was made in such a way that I got so lured and so attracted to that I wanted to just impulse buy that. And 1,000 is not something which is a very big amount, but it's not even a small amount. Like, if you think about it rationally, you would otherwise spend, I don't know what, 50, 100 rupees on a toothbrush. So those conscious decisions you need to make for yourself, especially when there are targeted ads to you, when you're on social media, and you need to be sure that, think 10 times, do I need 1,000 rupees toothbrush? Do I need 1,000 rupees toothbrush? And then make a decision. And this is in all aspects, like much. And when it comes to the side of showing off or showing people this glamorous life on social media, I think the real smart people are the ones who are not on social media, or who to show their true life on social media. Like, if someone is looking at your story, you should know that at any given point of time, a person at least follows 150 to 200 people. Your story or your video is just going to register in their mind for, say, 2 seconds. After that, they're going to move on with their life. So whatever signaling that you're doing of wealth or lifestyle is very, very temporary in other people's mind also. You will be actually smarter saving that money and investing it somewhere, or you'll be actually smarter if you're going for that vacation, genuinely enjoying that vacation, and not spending time just making reels and videos and taking photos.
But that's also something that is probably a content creator's bread and butter. As a content creator, saying that, social media can be harmful. I mean, it takes a lot, because, it does have its flip side as well. I mean, besides the fact that it is a booming social media, social influencer economy that's booming, it does have its flip side too, and that we need to be very cognizant of. But moving on then, it is in this day and age where, gig economy is also thriving, because I think just having one job it's not going to help you make your ends meet, let alone beating the inflation. How can you really diversify your income streams in a situation like that?
Right. So again, with social media, you also have opportunity to earn more. So I think here you can probably look at it through two aspects. One is extension of the work that you're doing. So say your daytime role is of a writer, or your daytime role is of a coder. You can actually provide that services, provided your employer allows it, to other companies or to other individuals who might require it. So for example, a friend of mine, she does LinkedIn ghostwritings for CEOs and COOs, and she earns like a very handsome amount from that, and that's just a weekend job. So you can actually see if your extension of day job can be provided as a services to other companies or entities or individuals in itself.
Use your expertise and probably to extend it to another line of work.
Right. And the other thing is, you might have a passion. So I've also have so many of my friends who are home bakers. There's another girl I met yesterday. She works works at, I think, Morgan Stanley or JP Morgan, and she makes dream catchers. She loves making dream catchers. So she had a stall yesterday where she was selling that. And she also sells it through social media. Now there is Swiggy Mimis or Minis, something like that, where, you know, home bakers or people are producing things from home can reach out to audiences on a global level or an India level, certainly. So they can actually explore these avenues, and they can use the spare time that they have and monetize their hobby also.
One of the things, Anushka, that, you know, I think somebody who's young, not just young, even the old, I mean, it's pretty boring and complex, is taxes, doing your taxes. So for somebody who's young, how can they, what are the things they need to keep in mind while getting started with taxes?
Right. So when it comes to taxes, a big mistake that people make is making tax saving their ultimate objectives. But a lot of these instruments actually come with their own lock-ins. So what you need to do is understand what your financial goals are and when you need the money, what time you have, and also what level of risk you are willing to take.
Yeah.
So now if you need the money in the shorter run, if you need your money before 5 years, probably there are not a lot of instruments that can help you. But say if you have like a 5-year time horizon, then there is National Savings Certificate, there are tax saver FDs that you can invest in. Say if you want to invest for an even longer period of time, then there is a provident fund. You can also invest in ELSS. However, ELSS has a lesser lock-in period. But again, since you're investing in the equity market, you need to have a long-term horizon. Now, what people mostly do, or I've seen people doing, is they'll probably go on one of those apps or websites where they buy their stocks or mutual funds from, and they'll see, oh, tax saver, oh, let me just buy that. And they don't realize that, you know, their money is going to be locked in, or that instrument to actually give them returns will take a lot of time. So either they'll, you know, they'll take their money out before the lock-in period, or they won't stay invested for the time, and they won't get the tax benefit eventually. Yeah. So your first objective should be to understand what your financial goals look like, when do you need the money, and what kind of risk you are willing to take. And after that, explore the instruments which can help you save on taxes.
So which brings me to my next question. What are the instruments that can help you save on taxes? Where can somebody young invest to, you know, cut down on the taxes?
Right. So see, first of all, even before you start that, you should probably look at the new regime also. There are
old and the new regime.
Yeah. So the tax slabs you should see according to your salary structure. Where are you able to save more taxes? Because you can see the government emphasizing a little bit more on the new tax regime, and it takes away a lot of hassle. Like if you don't have to, you know, plan your investments according to tax saving, you have so many more avenues that you can invest in, and so many more things that you can do. So first of all, make that distinction. Otherwise, in your old tax regime, there are certain investments that you can make in National Savings Certificate, tax saver FD, ELSS, the Provident Fund, so public Provident Fund. You can also extend your employees' Provident Fund to voluntary Provident Fund. So all these instruments are there. There are also certain expenses that you can make. So first, for your home loan is there, then your life insurance premium is there, your health insurance premium is there. So all these expenses, even if you are not getting HRA, you can also get your tax exemptions on the rent that you're paying, deductions on the rent that you're paying. So all these instruments are there, but your first priority should be identify what goal is there and then select accordingly, matching the lock-in periods and the risk.
All right, Anushka, thank you. That was very informative, and I hope the young girls and guys who are watching this will have a lot to take away from this. But on that note, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having me.
Well, with that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. You don't go anywhere, because after the break, we are getting you what's trending and what's hot in the market. Welcome back. You're watching ET Now Hangouts with me, Ankita Saxena. Well, we are in the thick of the festive season with Diwali just a week away. It is that time of the year when consumers really loosen their purse strings on new clothes, gifts, jewelry, home decor items, and tapping into this festive frenzy are the young D2C brands which are hopeful of a cracker Diwali. Well, we are in conversation with Vanshika Nahata Surana, who is the CEO of the June shop, to tell us about the festive season demand then. Hello Vanshika, welcome to ET Now Hangouts. So good to have you on the show. Well, firstly, Vanshika, tell us about the festive season demand and what are the trends that you are looking at?
The Indian festive season is a real game changer for businesses, and it's no secret that it sparks a wave of customer enthusiasm, with people increasingly turning to online shopping for gifts, decorations, and other various essentials for the festive season. As per the reports, the upcoming season is expected to drive a demand of roughly 90,000 crore in the online retail sector, which is roughly 20% increase from the last year. Sales this fiscal year have also shown a very strong momentum with a 7% year over year increase in the first quarter and a 9% increase in the second. That sets a very promising stage for the upcoming festive season, that is Navratri, Dashera, Diwali, and the upcoming New Year. The uptrend is further reflected on our own website, which is the June shop, with an increased sales and traffic.
Right, Vanchika, also, which are the products that are showing really strong traction this season?
So, as we step into the festive season, some products are definitely standing out that are truly capturing our customers' hearts and preferences. There are four main and broad categories that are showing strong traction. One being the home and decor segment. People are shifting into new homes, so they are buying a lot of decor from us. That includes mats, rugs, aroma diffusers, candles, lightings, crockery artifacts, etc. iPhone 15 was launched very recently, so we've seen a surge in our mobile accessories. It's roughly a 200% increase, which, in my opinion, is massive. We've also launched our fashion segment, especially the sunglasses. And in no time, it's become customers' favorites. They're flying off our shelves because people during the festive season want to look their best. So they're coming onto the June shop to buy these quirky sunglasses. Also, wedding season is round the corner. So our wedding planners are getting traction, and people are they are going for vacation to different places. So travel journals are also being very popular.
Right, Vanchika, also you cater to non-metro cities as well. How is the demand looking from the non-metro cities?
So the demand from non-metro cities, especially Pune, Chandigarh, Surat, Lucknow, Coimbatore, has been steadily increasing, and a noticeable uptick is seen in customers compared to last year. One advantage that we as online brand have compared to the retail stores is that they don't have a physical presence in these non-metro cities. So people residing in non-metro cities are relying a lot on online shopping. Currently, we deliver in roughly 27,000 pin codes. So going forward, we aim to increase this number while ensuring a very seamless and hassle-free shopping experience to our customers.
Right. Also, could you talk to us about the June shop? What does it specialize in? What are the, what sets it apart from the other D2C brands really?
Sure. So the June shop transforms your houses into homes. We make your spaces beautiful and your lifestyle better. We have roughly 7,500 products on our portal with categories ranging from home and living, dining to stationery and fashion. One thing that truly sets us apart from other brands is our unwavering dedication to craftsmanship. Every piece that you find at the June shop is not just an accessory, but it's a statement piece, a piece that truly reflects who you are, and it's a source of pride in your home.
Right, Vanchika, finally, what are your growth prospects? What is the future outlook on growth for the June shop?
That's an interesting question because as entrepreneurs, we do spend a lot of time mulling over it, whether to take a lot of risk, whether to hold ourselves back. But having said that, there are two things on our mind that we definitely want to achieve. One being to expand our Make in India category so that the local artisans are encouraged, they get their due respect, and their art is brought to the limelight. Second will be to get into the smart home segment. People are really liking modern architecture, so we want to align our products as per their needs and demands. So these are the two things that are on the roadmap for the June shop.
All right, Vanshika, thank you so much for joining us today. Well, let's move on then to what's hot in the market. The makeup canvas is expanding in India, and as Shiseido-owned NARS makes its debut in India, Italian fashion powerhouses Armani, Prada and Valentino Makeup are also planning to hit the local markets by next year. ET Now's Aishwarya Patil brings us this report on how the makeup market is shining brighter than perhaps the highlighter.
When the only beauty or cosmetic brand you could think of was Lakme Cosmetics. That definitely seems like a hazy memory considering the flood of options you have in the market currently that promise you to give the right tint, glow as well as blush. While the ladies of the 2000s had a handful of options, us ladies, millennials as well as Gen Zs of this era have a plethora of options and we're spoiled for choice. A market of 1 billion plus people, India's beauty business is proliferating with the number of cosmetic brands forecast to touch 3 digits by early 2025. That compares to over 60 plus beauty brands in the market, a far cry from the single digits in the early 2000s. A growing market which consulting firm Redseer expects to soar to almost 30 billion by 2027.
Brands in the range of about 60 to 75 odd brands, between international brands, between indie brands, between D2C brands. And I'm fairly confident that in the next couple of years, we will also hit the triple-digit number. Our distribution wing, which is Global SS Beauty, is looking at anywhere between 6 to 10 brands in the next 12 months or 18 months at the best. So currently from about 16.5 to 17, we are aiming to go up 25% in the next 2 to 3 years.
The makeup canvas is expanding. As Shiseido-owned NARS makes its debut in India, Italian fashion powerhouse Armani, Prada and Valentino Makeup are also planning to hit the local market next year. The latest entrant NARS is pinning its hopes on the country's booming beauty business as disposable income increases and adoption of makeup is on the rise.
India's beauty market is growing at a very healthy and good rate. The Indian women is really coming into her own, A lot more women are entering the workforce. The middle income is growing. For NARS this year, we would open 14 brick and mortar stores. And of that 14, actually, 3 will be in shop-in-shop formats with Shoppers Stop departmental store, but 10 of them will be with Sephora.
While experts believe the beauty market is poised to grow double-digit, the premium segment is where the meat lies and the future of the beauty market is looking brighter than the highlighters. In Mumbai, this is Aishwarya Patil.
And well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of ET Now Hangouts. I'll take your leave, but next week I'll see you with some more interesting conversations, what's hot in the market and what's trending.